Oh, hey. Now, a lot of folks have a slanted view of Texas. They think it's flat, full of cows, and just full of cowboys. For most of the state, that's simply not true. But for some other towns, yeah, that about sums it up. And if we're gonna make it to our destination by morning, we better get a move on it. Amarillo! This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Amarillo is Texas's most northern sizable city, just 2 hours north of Lubbock and only a hop, skip, and a day trip away from towns all over the Panhandle. Getting to Amarillo and back in a day might be tough for many Texans, and getting to Amarillo by morning, darn near impossible. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a try. So if you're one of the lucky ones that can make it to Amarillo by morning, well, that means you're just in time for breakfast at the Stockyards Cafe. Yes, this little cafe attached to the historic Amarillo Stockyards is plenty reason to get an early jump on the day. Oh man, now tell me about this breakfast. 2 pork chops?
This is the best breakfast in Amarillo. Anything you get in here is good.
So what kind of people come into this place?
You're looking at them right here.
Right here.
This is the kind of people come in here. Lots of cowboys.
Sure, people that need 2 pork chops to kick the day off.
That's right.
Pork chops, giant omelets, plate-sized pancakes, and the house specialty green chili huevos rancheros.
I think it's wonderful. The food is always good. It's a variety of food every day.
While big portions can be used to cover up poor taste, not so for chef and owner Tim Youngblood. Okay, so this is Tim, the owner of the Stockyards Cafe. Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for coming.
So tell me about this place.
Well, we've been here 12 years, but It's been going on here since the beginning of the stockyard itself. Stockyard started back in the 1800s. You know, at one time there was 5,000 head of cattle sold here a day, 3 days a week.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a lot of hungry ranchers and cowboys then.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah.
And we do a good job of trying to get them full.
What kind of stuff y'all serve?
You know what, we call this Texas food for Texas people.
Like
that's kind of our motto.
But you got to experiment a little bit in the back.
Oh, we do, little by little.
But
people in Amarillo, you know, they move kind of slowly.
Yeah.
So I got to move with them. They can't move with me.
Sure, exactly. But that doesn't mean there aren't some very interesting items on and off menu. And Tim has recommended for me his special, we'll just call it Kick Butte Omelet. Looks amazing. Okay, so upon Tim's recommendation, I got the Kick Butte Omelet. Look at that cilantro, the peppers, the onions, the tomatoes just coming through the outside of that omelet. And then we got hash browns, and then instead of toast, a little change up, boom, biscuits and gravy. This is how we do it here in the Stockyards. Oh, wow. I thought it was all sort of mixed in the eggs, but this guy is stuffed too. Bacon, grilled onions, spicy jalapenos. Oh my gosh, that is delicious. This will keep a cowboy well fed. Oh, that is good. That's one killer omelet. Tim wasn't lying when he called this the Kick Butte Omelet. A little bit of hash brown, homemade biscuits, homemade gravy. I don't know if cowboys driving the trails ate this well, but I'm certainly glad I am. And now that I've eaten like a cowboy, I think I'll follow the cowboys next door to see what these stockyards are truly about. And just as I was expecting, cowboys selling cows. All right, so this is a cattle auction, and if you like eating beef, this is part of the process. You got the auctioneer up there, and he's auctioning these cows off, and all these ranchmen know exactly what one's worth today, and then how much it'll be worth after it's been fattened up on the feedlot. So right now it's at 131, and that's per 100 pounds. So each of these cows will fetch over $600, $700. They're being herded through like cattle, because they are cattle. Ranching was the first permanent industry in the Texas Panhandle, and is still going strong today. And the right cow can fetch a pretty penny. Listen to that guy. You can barely understand what he's saying. It's so crazy. Listen to how fast that guy's speaking. I have to concentrate so hard just to figure out what he's saying. Now this is truly an Amarillo experience, but we better keep moving before I do something silly, like accidentally purchase a cow or something crazy. Uh-oh, too late. I think I'll just come back and settle up with you guys later. Gotta run. Now I like beef, but don't really need a few thousand pounds of it. Time to leave the lots and explore Amarillo. Now, cattle is still king in this town of around 200,000 folks, and what helped convert it from a dry Texas prairie to the booming city, dating all the way back to the days of the cattle drives. But while this town was built on beef, it takes more than just cows to have a successful working ranch. You need cowboys, of course, but also a good horse. So for our first museum of the day, the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame and Museum. All right, so this is Chris Seitz, the Executive Director of the American Quarter Horse Foundation. Hey, thanks for having us.
You betcha. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on here.
Okay, well, the Hall of Fame and Museum is dedicated to showcasing and honoring the superheroes of our breed, and that can be people or horses.
So a quarter horse ain't just any old horse, but a special breed of horse with very special skills.
The American Quarter Horse Association is the largest equine breed registry in the world. We're considered the most popular breed as a result, and we are known for our versatility, which means the number of different types of jobs that our horses can do.
Okay, yeah.
And then also for the disposition.
So it's the workhorse of the horse industry?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
All right.
The name comes from the ability to gain the greatest amount of speed over a quarter-mile distance.
Oh, quarter horse.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe they're not the best over long distances, but in a quarter mile, they'll kill you.
Exactly. We don't have the endurance of the thoroughbred, and of course they have a longer body style.
Okay.
But we get the rear propulsion here is what causes that initial startup speed.
You're guaranteed to learn more about quarter horses at this museum than you ever even knew you didn't know to begin with. These guys are champions in about every rodeo event, racing, and absolute experts in ranching. And then, of course, there's the Quarter Horse Hall of Fame, honoring humans and horses side by side. And this is curator Crystal Ferris to give us a tour.
This is Dasher Cash. He's one of our more famous Hall of Fame members. He was one of the most winning quarter racehorses, and he was a prolific sire of winning quarter racehorses.
All right, so he lived up to his name.
He did.
Very cool. There are horses, ranchers, cowboys, and even painters of quarter horses like Orrin Mixer, all of whom have made a lasting mark on the quarter horse trade. And while looking at the walls, don't miss what's right under your feet, the quarter horse family tree.
The big names on the chart are what we call the superheroes of the breed. They were horses that founded families of bloodlines that people were really interested in.
So people would want a Peter McHugh horse.
Yes, and if you could prove you had Peter McHugh in your pedigree or your bloodline, then people were more willing to pay more for that horse.
As you see, from cowboys to cows to horses, ranching roots run deep here in Amarillo. But not just the kind of ranches you're thinking about. So here in Amarillo, they don't just ranch cattle, they also ranch Cadillacs. And here's one of Amarillo's most popular ranches, the Cadillac Ranch, commissioned by local artist and art savant Stanley Marsh III. This ranch was first installed in 1974 using a group of Cadillacs buried nose down in the pasture. Why, you ask? Well, does weird art ever really need a reason? I mean, look how many layers of paint have been crusted on top of this caddy. It sort of feels like reptile skin or something. Here we go, look at this. That is crazy. Look at all those layers. It's like graffiti geology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's at least 500 layers of paint. I can't even count these. People from all over the world come to see this ranch and to make their own artistic contribution. And one of the best parts of Cadillac Ranch is that you can actually become part of the artwork. I think this caddy needs some chrome accents. Why don't we make this one a full-on day tripper mobile? Crew, can you help me out? And while this might be Stanley Marsh III's most famous installation, it isn't the only whacked-out contribution he's made to the Amarillo landscape. There's also the lost legs of King Ozymandias, which come with a historical marker telling the tale of this lost kingdom of the Texas prairie. All fake, of course. Or is it? I am Ozymandias! Like I said, art needs no reason or purpose, just to be. Now, it was ranching that put Amarillo on the map, but the hottest thing happening in the 1930s through 60s here in Amarillo was cross-continental travel along Route 66.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
The American Mother Road from Chicago to Los Angeles cut right through the heart of Amarillo. And while the construction of I-40 delivered a near death blow to old Route 66, there are still a few historical vestiges left today to recapture the magic of the Mother Road.
Want to travel the world? Then why not travel in style? Grab your wife and 2.5 kids and see the wonders of America in your very own recreational vehicle. The wonder, the majesty, the wonder as you lounge in style. Relax, then stretch out on space-age synthetic fibers, all with a pleasing floral pattern. Your wife will love the state-of-the-art kitchen with real laminate countertops, while you enjoy the comfort that only a private recreational vehicle can provide. So grab life by the wheel of your own new recreational vehicle. Wow, I need that.
Well, sadly, most of them are way out of production, and the only place to find them is at Jack Sizemore's RV Museum. This museum offers a fun and quirky look back at when Americans were just christening cross-country highways. And as technology changed, so did recreational travel.
Oh man, now this was the way to see the world. Look how spacious this thing is. This is almost like a tour bus, not just a family traveling trailer.
Jack and his family have spent years finding vintage trailers and restoring them to glory.
Now that is classy. Shag carpet, just like covering the whole middle engine console.
They've also got quite the collection of vintage motorcycles. And of course, you can still pick up your very own recreational vehicle right here. Yes, traveling the wide open road in your very own car was and still is the best way to see the amazing wonders all across America. Wonders like Amarillo. Beautiful, stunning, completely flat. It's true, this part of Texas is as flat as an armadillo crossing I-10. But you'd never believe that a mere 30 minutes down the road sits, wait for it, the second largest canyon in the United States. Welcome to Palo Duro Canyon, and the best place to experience its beauty is right here inside Palo Duro Canyon State Park.
All right, so this is Park Ranger Mark Hassel, and we are standing up here on the rim of Palo Duro Canyon. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, good work. Well, I mean, I don't think people know that something this beautiful or this dramatic is up here in the Texas Panhandle. How big is the canyon itself?
The canyon stretches a little over 100 miles. They say 110. It's 20 miles wide out at its mouth. And then it runs, up to maybe 1,200 feet deep at its deepest ends. People don't realize that this is the second largest canyon in the United States. Second only to the Grand Canyon. Of course, everything's second to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
But,
Sure. So how long has this been here?
The actual canyon itself, in the last 100,000 years, it started cutting, a million years ago on the east side of the Cap Rock. About half the material you see in this park actually came from the Austin area. Back in the Triassic Age, the uplift was down to the southeast of us, and the rivers came this way, so they brought all the material this way. So,
wow! Now we're pushing it back.
Now we're pushing it back that way.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Well, however it's moved through, I mean, it has made some amazing formations and the beautiful colors you see here on the canyon floor. This is incredible. Definitely one of the most beautiful places in Texas. You know, maybe you're looking for an experience with nature on a hike or horse ride. Or maybe you're looking to learn about the human experience in Palo Duro when Comanches, Kiowas, and Apaches roam the canyon, followed by cattle drives and cowboy hideouts. Or maybe, just maybe, you're like me and can't miss the opportunity to mountain bike some of the park's 40 miles of trails. That's part of my definition of heaven on earth. These trails are by far the best way to leave the roads behind and disappear into the heart of the canyon to see the many peaks and cliffs up close.
All right, and the next stop on the Palo Duro tour is Capitol Peak. I have no idea if you can hike it, but if I had a lot of days in the canyon, I guarantee you I would try. It's so cold out here that there's literally still snow on the ground in the shadows.
Snow in Texas? Yep, I guess anything's possible out here in the Panhandle. But this 3-mile bike ride isn't just to ride, but to visit the most famous formation in the park.
There's the lighthouse. Just a little bit further, and it looks like I have to hike the rest of the way, right up that trail. I seriously expected the easy route, but the canyon is making me work for it. But usually, with great work, comes great reward, and I know this will be.
And there it is, one of the most iconic natural formations in Texas, and standing over 300 foot tall, including its base.
I've seen lots of sights in Texas. This is one of the prettiest.
Standing below the lighthouse makes the 6-mile round trip to get here well worth it.
Thank you, Lord, for making Texas such a beautiful place.
And I can now tick this off of my Texas bucket list, but I'll definitely be back. So as the sun sets down on the canyon floor, it's time to head back into the high country where the sun's still shining. And for our last stop, a place as big as Texas, or at least as big as the myth of Texas.
Okay, so we've all heard the stereotypes, and frankly, I'm sick of them. Everything's bigger in Texas, but that's not true. I mean, it's not as if the cars we drive here are any bigger. I'll give you that one. Or that the cows we raise here in Texas are these humongous sized breeds that... Bad example. Or that a single Texas-sized steak is enough to feed, say, 10 regular Americans. Okay, so maybe there is an ounce of truth to that stereotype. No, in fact, there's 72 ounces of truth to that stereotype.
If anywhere in this great state lives up to the myth of Texas, it's the Big Texan, home of the free 72-ounce steak. Free steak? Yeah, but don't miss the asterisk. It's sort of important. And to tell us more about the Big Texan Steak Ranch, our owners and brothers, Danny and Bobby Lee.
Well, I bet, you know, based on the amount of steaks you guys sell, there's more cows in this building than there are on some legitimate ranches.
Absolutely. In fact, buying our beef, Danny will buy, 200 cases of top sirloin, 200 cases of ribeyes.
That's crazy.
That's for a weekend. Especially when you're serving a 72-ounce steak. That beef goes pretty quick.
I bet.
Opened in 1960 along Old Route 66, their father, Bob Lee, saw the need for a real Texas-inspired steakhouse to cater to travelers looking for the Texas experience. And today, the Big Texan continues to entertain. Craft beer, a Texas-style shooting gallery, along with cowboy hats, buckles, and of course, Texas-sized steaks. The challenge all started with a friendly competition amongst cowboys. And over the course of an hour, one cowboy put down 4.5 one-pound steaks, a shrimp cocktail, a roll, baked potato, and dinner salad.
My dad said from this day forward, anybody that can eat this meal gets it for free. And 53 years later, it's still going strong.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, you heard that right. It's not just the 72-ounce steak. And you only got 1 hour to do it. But some folks don't even need half that long.
Joey Chestnut, the guy that ate all those hot dogs at Nathan's contest, he came in and polished the entire meal off in 8 minutes and 52 seconds.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Now there is no way I could touch that record, and it's probably a really bad idea to try. But you know this day tripper won't back down from one of the biggest challenges in Texas. Here goes nothing. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, dreaming of it,
My chance to face up to not just a steak, but the whole bull. Win or lose today, this steak is a challenge that all red meat loving Texans must face at one point in their lives. A mountain that must be attempted. A bull that must be fought.
Toro! Aquí! Aquí, toro! Aquí! Aquí! Aquí, toro! Aquí!
Let's hope I can do better fighting the beefy bull than this giant one. You know, you never know how much steak you can eat until you know. Let's go down.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Big Texan, may I have your attention on stage, please? Today we've got Chet Money Gardner from the Day Tripper attempting our 72-ounce steak challenge. He has 1 hour to put down 4.5 pounds of our Texas top sirloin. If he completes this challenge in under an hour, it's completely free. If not, we're gonna keep his $72.
This is at least 4 gigantic steaks. If I don't eat it, at least I'll go down in a blaze of steaky glory. The crazy thing is, this is actually a really good steak. That's about 2 ounces down. 70 to go.
Starting strong. I'm running pretty fast, but I fear this steak is running faster.
At this point, the world record holders would have already been finished. I have at least 60 ounces to go. That's a little depressing. You know, everybody has their theory about what to do, but when it comes down to it, you just gotta chew and swallow. Chew and swallow, chew and swallow, chew and swallow.
One thing you gotta love about this challenge is that all 72-ounce eaters are on a stage for the entertainment and heckling of the entire restaurant.
You can jump in whenever you want. Don't even buy a steak. I got 20 ounces there for you. Look at that. Problem is, I got about 15 of its closest friends still on this plate.
And there is no lack of advice, and that includes from the crew.
I don't think you can do this, I'm sorry.
Come on.
Okay.
You're supposed to give me some encouragement.
You can absolutely do this.
How do you eat this much meat?
You gotta keep it down.
You might want to back up a couple steps. The bucket's right down there.
If you just think of it as like a piece of human meat and you're a zombie in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, and you're starving. That's a really puny bite.
Meat shakes. Sorry.
I'll hold your hair.
That's so sweet of you. I think my body is digesting bites in my stomach about as big as this when I was young and optimistic 28 minutes ago. No matter how much I fight this thing, it does not go away.
Chew, swallow, chew, swallow. You know, I would love to swallow every bite, but sadly, there's just no place in my stomach for it to go. And I must admit, defeat.
It is in times like these, I'm reminded of the great President Teddy Roosevelt. It is not the critic that counts, but the man in the arena, who if he fails, fails valiantly.
Whew! And that's all she wrote, folks.
All right.
No sides even touched, and 33 ounces of steak in my belly. That's almost half the steak, but it's all of my steaky abilities. Oh, Amarillo, I shall always remember you for your history, for your beauty, and for your ranches. Whether they be for cattle, for cars, or for steaks so big, they could only be in Texas.
So I'll see all y'all out on the road. Bye con Dios, amigos. Chew and swallow. Chew and swallow.
And if you like eating beef, this is pretty much part of every hamburger. Wait, sorry. All right, so what the auctioneer is doing is he's selling each head of head of cattle.
Everything's bigger in Texas, but it's not as if the something. Tape on my head, it is so windy out here.
toro! Aquí! Aquí! Aquí, toro! Aquí!
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.